Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. So, little bit better today, better than I was in the last video, and I'll be even better in the next one. Thank you so much for all of your lovely well wishes. So let's get this video started straight away. It's mostly to do with Harry and Meghan because there is so much news coming out about them, but some of it is actually really entertaining as there has been a real shift in the coverage that these two receive in the US. I can barely keep up with the number of stories that are coming out, but none of them really paint the couple in a particularly good light. First up, we have got the fact that neighbours in Montecito have been expressing their concerns again that Harry and Meghan still haven't quite moved on. Yes, neighbours of the couple have reportedly spoken to the Montecito Journal, and they have stated that they are sick of the media circus that these two have brought to the area, which is predominantly, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of old money, but it's generally an older sort of area. They're very big on community. Now, whilst Harry and Meghan constantly talk to people about the importance of it, their community they have decided not to join, and it's definitely put a few noses out of joint, and they have even been rude to some of the neighbours that wanted to come over and basically meet them, wish them well. Harry and Meghan are making sure they stay in their little bubble, but again, as you guys know, I don't honestly believe that they live in that house, Red Rock in Montecito. I think it is smoke and mirrors. I think they use it as a studio. So that's probably why the neighbours hardly ever see Harry and Meghan in the area, and they have never seen the children. It would seem that Harry and Meghan are in fact rubbing up the neighbours the wrong way. They want them to leave and they are bringing down the neighbourhood. In more news where the couple are not exactly wanted, we have got Miss Anne Harriman, who is a friend and their chosen photographer that has taken a number of portraits of the couple over the years. He followed them more recently to Nigeria, and strangely, even though he was their photographer, he ended up in more of the photographs, I would say, than the ones that he was actually taking. So it's very clearly obvious that they are just more than business associates. Miss Anne is one of the big defenders, and he will often scream out the words racism if Meghan is ever criticised. So the photograph in question in this instance is one that he took at the One Young World Summit in Manchester, where Meghan, in a 7-minute speech meant to inspire the next generation, spoke about herself 54 times in those 7 minutes. Honestly, she's got to be a world Guinness record breaker at this point. Well, back in May, he boasted about how the photograph would now be part of the permanent collection at the National Portrait Gallery, of which the Princess of Wales is patron. Turns out, that's not exactly true. In an Instagram post, the photographer said, "I am humbled and proud to announce that my portrait of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is now part of the permanent collection at the National Portrait Gallery." Very humble post indeed, especially when the National Portrait Gallery spoke to the media and they pointed out that they had only just received it. A spokesperson at the gallery said there are no immediate plans to display the work as it's only just been delivered. It will need to go through the cataloguing process. So basically this was Miss Anne tooting his own trumpet. It was like he got a notification on the app on his phone that the postman had delivered it to the National Portrait Gallery, and he decided to do the announcement on Instagram. The way that he worded it, anyone think it was going to be part of a big collection on display. Well, now 4 months later, the gallery has actually made it clear that it's been mothballed. That obviously, I mean, this is still a very big thing for Miss Anne, and I don't knock his work because I do like some of his photographs, but it's kind of downplayed the way that he humbly boasted about this huge momentous thing in his career. Dream big or something like that, he said. And his image, whilst it will be on the National Portrait Gallery's website, it's going to be one of many hundreds of thousands of images that are on their catalogues. So the neighbours don't want them, the gallery doesn't particularly want them, the royals don't want them, most of the UK doesn't want them, and now it would seem even the Democrats don't particularly want them getting involved with their campaign trail either. So obviously with the US elections, which are coming up in November, this is a huge time in America, and it's also a huge time for celebrity endorsements. In this day and age, celebrities want you to know who they're sleeping with, what their pronouns are, and who they are going to vote for. Let's be honest, whether it's the US, whether it's the UK, it really doesn't matter with these celebrities who they endorse, because they generally are not the ones affected by the decisions that those politicians make because, well, they're rich. Now, Meghan and Harry, the last huge presidential election, we know that they definitely crossed some lines. There was a lot of backlash, and who can forget Harry having his very own Forrest Gump moment, sitting on a bench alongside his wife, who was intently watching every word to escape his mouth, making sure that he didn't fluff up his script. A British prince telling US voters who they should vote for was never going to go down well with Americans. Okay, admittedly, they didn't specifically name names, but they didn't need to, did they? So this year, it's been publicly announced that Harry and Meghan are, in fact, remaining neutral. Perhaps it would seem that they have learnt a lesson. Highly unlikely and absolutely not true. Whilst it's been made clear they are not endorsing either candidate, I think we all know who they will be pushing for. Given that Harry is speaking at the Clinton Global Initiative annual meeting in New York in the coming days, it doesn't take a genius to know that they are very much Democrats. Well, at least Meghan is, the one that can actually vote. So whilst also Harry and Meghan are making it abundantly clear that they're apparently being neutral this time round, they have done a public service announcement, as it were, through Archewell, encouraging Americans to vote, informing them of the importance of why they should vote. Because, well, Harry and Meghan are global leaders after all, and what would the average American do if they didn't have Harry and Meghan telling them the importance of the presidential election? I won't bore you with all of the details from their statements, but needless to say, it's their usual word salad, which is full of patronising self-importance, overinflated egos, as they state. By participating in initiatives like this, we aim to amplify the message that every voice matters. Together, let's make sure that every eligible voter is informed and empowered in shaping America's future. Phew, I bet all of you guys in the States feel relieved now knowing that you've got Harry and Meghan holding your hand, guiding you through and teaching you the importance of having a vote. So, as for the celebrity endorsements that are going on, they're everywhere. They're coming out thick and fast. As is, obviously, we've had a recent push, haven't we? A recent shove of Meghan is, in fact, tight with Oprah still. She went to a book reading. They've been hugging each other at the bookstore. They even went to Tyler Perry's birthday party together. Meghan is still very much, in fact, a WME client, and she's still in with Oprah. I feel like Oprah has been tasked with babysitting Harry and Meghan, to be honest with you. But Oprah did a big televised event where she sat with Kamala for a Unite for America bonanza, which was live streamed across the US on Thursday. Given the closeness of Oprah and Meghan's friendship, as I said, we've had stuff down our throat recently, you would have expected Meghan to appear alongside the many celebrities that appeared on the big screen. You had Meryl Streep, Julia Roberts, Jennifer Lopez, Chris Rock, to name just but a few. I think we all know that Meghan would have been absolutely frothing at the mouth to make an appearance alongside big names like that. But the thing is, Meghan is not an A-lister. Meghan might be useful for WME and for Oprah to wheel out at the smaller sort of events, because Meghan does attract media attention. It might be negative attention for Meghan, but it does get whatever event that they are attending into the news. It gives them coverage. So Meghan, she can come in useful, but when it comes to any of the big important events, she finds that that envelope never does actually arrive on her doorstep. Now, they might be able to palm it off to say that, oh, of course, Meghan's being neutral this time round. Meghan doesn't want to endorse anybody. But I don't think it's got anything to do with choice. I think that she might have been told, can you not? For the simple fact that Meghan is so widely disliked at the moment. She's so toxic. We've got all of these new bullying allegations coming out against her. So to have Meghan's endorsement could, in fact, lose votes for the Democrats. And that's possibly something that they don't want to be risking at the moment. Even a Democratic strategist in California stated, with all due respect to Meghan Markle, given the star power that we have in California, she's kind of in the minor ranks of them, to be honest. Ooh, ouch, that one's a bit of a burn, isn't it? You can hear the plates being smashed in the kitchen from Montecito right now, her RO printed plates. Now, that wasn't obviously the only event that Meghan is MIA from, that she's been missing from, because there was also another big event linked with Oprah, WME, Kevin Costner, and that was on Sunday at the Waldorf Astoria. They had a big party WME client list for the Emmys after party, and Meghan and Harry were again not invited. Whilst they are on WME's client list, they are only invited to certain events. They may own a production company, they may pretend that they are directors and producers, but the cupboards are bare. Harry and Meghan call themselves many, many things, but the proof is in the pudding. What do they have to show for the last 5 years? No one seems to have a good word to say about them in the industry whatsoever. They've done TV interviews attacking their own family, spilling secrets about their own families for money, collecting awards for themselves, going on holiday to countries where poverty is a real issue and allowing taxpayers' money to go towards their stay. It's one big melting pot of self-obsessed vanity projects with the occasional peppering of philanthropy, announced to the press naturally in a glossy, vomit-inducing post. Lord forbid that we're not told that Harry and Meghan walked past a beggar on a street and gave him a cent in his cup. Harry and Meghan always have to let it be known that every single thing that they do, every donation, no matter how big or how small, even a $25 Starbucks card, must be made public, because Harry and Meghan must get a round of applause and the world must be informed that they are good and kind people. Hollywood is full of narcissists, but it's also full of genuine philanthropists and humanitarians. Two things that Harry and Meghan are most definitely not. They use the less fortunate to make themselves look good, and that is something that, because it's so obvious and so public, that Hollywood will shun, because they will not want to tarnish their own good deeds and their brands. Now, it seems to be one humiliating hit job after another at the moment, but it does very much seem to be targeted at Meghan. And Harry is faring slightly better of late. Harry made an appearance at Kevin Costner's 1805 live charity concert. Meghan was reportedly absent due to sickness, but again, I find that highly doubtful and think it's got more to do with the fact she's still humiliated after last year, where the organisers refused to give her the microphone, not once, but twice. They were clearly on both occasions trying to give the microphone to Harry. Meghan tried to clutch it at first. The woman had to pretend she was walking behind Meghan to hand it over to someone else, or the batteries were flat. The second time, the organiser actually laughs and holds the microphone to his chest. It's still to this day one of the most funny things that I have ever seen happen, and if it was anyone other than Meghan Markle, I would feel sorry for that person. I think it's clearly obvious why Meghan decided to sit this one out, because she's still, no doubt, licking her wounds from being publicly humiliated on stage. Harry, I would say, came across a lot more cheerful and a lot more happy, but I'd imagine he can breathe a bit more, he can interact with people when he doesn't have his succubus wife hanging off of him like a limpet. But Harry didn't exactly get away unscathed exactly from a little bit of his own humiliation. And that is because Richard Marx, 80s icon, came off of stage after performing, and the staff actually had to explain to him who the ginger-haired man was in the suit trying to shake his hand. And then, to add further insult to injury, Richard Marx's wife Daisy uploaded the photograph to Instagram and tagged the Prince and Princess of Wales, mistaking Harry for Prince William. Perhaps that's why Harry looked like a pit bull chewing a wasp when he was later spotted on stage. He didn't exactly get the warm reception from the crowds that he was expecting, according to one Twitter user who was there. I can imagine that was probably one hell of a kick to Harry's ego. Now, in the coming days, we will be seeing Harry making a lot of appearances across various events and meetings in New York, which will no doubt be photographed, filmed and well publicised. Harry is in New York pretending that he is still someone of importance and has influence, but it's clearly obvious that, well, Harry doesn't and isn't. Harry is purely invited to all of these events, and celebrities still want to be around him and things purely because of his royal connections, because he is the son of the king, because he is Diana's second son. It's something that still gives Harry sway. It still gives him an edge with certain celebrity circles, and it's something that Meghan definitely does not have. All of the interviews that they've done, all of the magazines, all of the books, Penguin Publishers, Netflix, Spotify, Oprah, they coveted Harry. Meghan was just a byproduct. All they had to do was encourage Meghan because they know that Harry is her puppet and she pulls his strings. Now she's the one that's slowly being left off the guest list for events, whilst Harry is the one that is still being invited to things. And what with all of these new bullying allegations that are coming out, as I said, there's a documentary that's been put on hold whilst they make sure that they've dotted their I's and crossed their T's for legalities. It would seem that slowly but surely Hollywood is cancelling only one half of the couple, and it's the half that they never wanted in the first place. Now, we know that Meghan is not going to take this lying down. We know that Meghan feels that she is the star. We know that she has downtrodden Harry to a point where Harry feels that Meghan should be the one pushed forward. But we are seeing a real shift in dynamics. Harry is the one that is getting invited to events. Harry is the one that's giving out awards. Harry's popularity will always be that bit higher than Meghan's. And as I said, purely just to do with his royal connections. And now I can't see Meghan taking this lying down. And with Harry making lots of appearances in New York over the next couple of days, I honestly believe that Meghan is going to do her own publicity stunts. She reportedly was staying behind with the children, but we'll just have to wait and see, because I cannot see her letting Harry take the limelight and mixing with lots of celebrities and important people, getting lots of media coverage without her doing some sort of attention-seeking stunt. At the very least, I'm expecting some very serious car park paparazzi strolls. So guys, that's it for me on this video. I will be back with you very soon and trying to stay on top on all of the news. Take care for now. See you soon. Bye.